Air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey. Fred Taylor coming up. We're at the Hyundai Studios at the Miller Electric Center after a Jaguars win over the Tennessee Titans. Final score 20-13. Jags improved a record of 4-12. The Titans fall to 3-13. And they held on at the very end, throw into the end zone on the final surge there for Tennessee, and it's knocked away by Antonio Johnson. The Jaguars get good, solid play from Mac Jones today. Brian Thomas Jr. clearly is a difference maker for this team, but the Jags defense did just enough today and made the big play in the big moment finally, at long last.
Well, you're right about that, and it helped that Tajay Spears went out. Calvin Ridley started to get loose in the second half, but Tennessee just often, like Jacksonville does, waited too long to get anything going offensively, or waited is probably the wrong expression, but didn't get anything going early enough to make it matter when they came on in the second half. They made it close down the stretch, but Mason Rudolph was – he missed Chigakonkwo on a couple of opportunities that could have potentially put them in position to tie or go for two to try to win it. But for the Jag fans that turned out and sat through – that weather today, they at least get sent off with their second home win of the season.
Yeah, it was nice to see, certainly today, Jaguars getting the job done to improve to a record of 4-12 on the season, and some of the younger guys getting some action on defense today. And, Mason Smith comes through with a sack, as does Trayvon Walker, as does Josh Hines-Allen. Those are the guys you want to see putting up those sack numbers in a game like this today. Fred Taylor is with us now, and we'll get to Fred in just a moment. Mason Smith, the aforementioned, had a sack in this game, 2 tackles total. He is with Bucky Brooks. Bucky?
What's going on, Mason? Big game today. You get a big win. What win until you guys win it today?
Just keeping our best foot forward and continuing to grow and progress. It's very easy for, the team as a whole, or just individuals to kind of like check out, end of the season. We're not really playing for too much, but, Coach Doug has been stressing and about just us, continuing to grow and continue to progress and, finishing out these close games. So, we just put that our best foot forward, man, and we continue to grind all week. The outcome was what it was.
So, look, your rookie season has been some ups and downs, but, man, the last couple of weeks you really started to play well. What have you learned along the way?
Just control the controllables, and you know what I'm saying? You can't control the uncontrollables, so just putting my faith in God, putting my faith in myself, and not taking everything to heart, just being able to take a step back from certain things going on.
Doug, just your overall thoughts about the game and what it means to you to get a season sweep over the Titans.
Found a way to win. Proud of the guys. Just so happy for them and coaching staff, the way these guys hang together. They stick together. There's no quit. They keep fighting. I keep telling them, you never know when the play's coming your way, and when it does, just make it. And you saw at the end there, Antonio Johnson made the play, and you win the game. So there's a lot of good efforts in this game. Defense created a takeaway. Offense was effective and good in the red zone today. Just a good team win.
With the way the last 2 weeks have gone, Doug, is this one particularly emotional? Did you find it to be an emotional locker room afterwards?
Yeah, I think it's definitely emotional. The way our season's gone, obviously we've talked a lot about this. Just the disappointment and the expectation, not where it is or should be. But anytime you get a chance to win a game, especially against a good football team and division opponent, it's always great. The locker room is excited. Probably a little bit of relief, as well, just to get another win and it's part of what we keep talking about every day. We want to finish this thing the right way.
Doug, what more can you say about what Brian Thomas has done this year? I think he tied a rookie record Randy Moss owned.
Yeah, I was, you said Randy Moss. I was on the sideline in Green Bay when Randy had a big day in Minnesota against us. I remember that, his rookie season. And, Randy Moss is a heck of a receiver. And Brian just Brian just keeps impressing each week, and can't say enough good things about Brian, and just happy for him, but it just goes to show you, just with him, and speaking of Brian, just the way he works, the way he handles himself, for a young kid, very impressive. Very impressed with Brian.
Coach, can you tell us how you feel about Mac Jones and how he's been playing down the stretch to help you finish the season?
I thought Mac played, probably obviously one of his better games today. I thought he did a great job of just putting the ball in play and taking what the defense gave him, and some really good scrambles early in the game to keep us on the field, helped us in our third down conversion rate today, and the touchdown pass to Brian Thomas, and just doing things that we ask him to do. Great performance, by Mac, and he's one of many guys that really had a hand in this win, but he played really well today.
Coach, you mentioned Brian Thomas coming out of the backfield some earlier this week. Just seeing what he can do out of there, just as a pure runner, how much value does that add to the offense?
Well, it adds a lot, and it's an element of surprise to the defense. A couple times today on little, arounds, different things, and giving him the football in space, and guys just did a great job too blocking for him, But anytime you get Brian Thomas, the ball in his hands, it's pretty electric, and he does some great things with it. So just want to continue to expand, that role for him, but at the same time be smart, and if it helps the offense, then we're going to do it.
Doug, we know the margin for error is pretty small for you guys. How important was it to play a clean football game pretty much on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, it's been a minute since we've done that, and really I think all three phases, even down to the 2-minute situations, today, both at the end of the half and end of the game, different scenarios there that, stuff we talk about, and our players did a great job of execution there. And like I said, defense came up big, had the takeaway, offense scored, and then the turnover on downs here at the end. So just a complete football game, just excited for all those guys.
Doug, obviously when you get to this time of the year, you guys got the record you have. Have you had to have conversations with your coaches for them to stay engaged and stay positive and encouraging when at a time of year where, let's be honest, a lot of coaches sometimes are job hunting because they fear the worst?
Yeah, for me, it's more about just having some one-off conversations. I don't get them together and say, "Hey guys, this is what needs." I mean, we're adults and we understand. We see we see what's being written, what's being said, and listen, it's obviously we put ourselves in, and I'm the leader of that ship, right? So they're the captain of that ship. So I mean, obviously we've put ourselves in this situation. So just having one-off conversations and trying to, for me, still to encourage them as well. And get them to understand that, hey, we got a lot to play for and coach for, and you put your best foot forward and you give it everything you have during the week, and then when you're rewarded like we were today, just makes it sweeter.
Is there a sliver of consolation for you that these last 4, 5, 6 weeks that you guys have stayed engaged, put in a pretty good effort to get yourself in position to win games? You haven't won a lot of them, but you're not letting go of the rope.
Thank you for reminding me. But it's obvious. I mean, it's right. I mean, and the guys aren't. The thing is, they're not waving the white flag. I mean, I think even when you talk to them in the locker room, they're not. They're busting their tails during the week. I mean, they're doing everything that I'm asking them to do, coaches and players. And look, whatever happens at the end of the season is going to happen. We still got one game left, right? And before today, we had 2 games left. And for us to finish the way we want to finish, whatever happens, regardless, we want to finish this thing the right way. And we won today, and that's a huge step. And then we move on to the next one. You put another game plan together, you go practice, and you try to do it again on the road. And then whatever happens is going to happen. But just proud of the way the coaches and players have just stuck together and hung together, and the fact that we were rewarded today, speaks to that.
Doug, Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
I know the record is not going to show it at the end of the season, but next week you have a chance to finish 4-2 in the division. I know at this point it's little victories at that point, but what do you say about that? I know the schedule has been brutal and a lot of close losses.
Yeah, I mean that would be something to be very proud of. You know, in the midst of, you know, a disappointing season, right? I mean, to finish 4-2, that'd be great. And it just goes to show you, and I think it goes to show our team that you know, these close games, the plays we made today were the ones we weren't making in those close games. And if it goes the other way, then maybe we win a few more of those games, and it's a different story. But you know, I just think that you know, to finish that way, to finish strong, you know, it sends a good message to the team. That you can still have a hold, I think, on your division, right? If you do that next week, you got to win the game, obviously, but it just shows you that you can kind of control it. You control your own destiny, right? Year in and year out, and it'd be a good message to the guys if you know, if we can accomplish that. Thank you.
Was the other guy? Yeah, he mentioned
Josh Hines Allen had 10 sacks.
Yeah.
Too.
Well, Josh Hines Allen. So that's two.
But those are later,
and this is 3.
And those are not that long ago, right? I mean, so.
But yeah, I kind of saw where he was going with it. But yeah, even whatever the case is, this kid has a tremendous upside, and he has a lot of potential, and he's a foundation piece, and I think he can help this team win.
Jaguars get the job done today. Final score, Jags 20, Titans 13. The Jaguars improved to a record of 4-12. Titans 3-13 on the season. And the Jaguars sweep the season series against the Tennessee Titans. Next week it's on to Indianapolis to face the Colts, who are losing to the New York Giants at the moment with a minute to play in that game. And that one will be over. And the Colts' season and hopes for the playoffs will be over as well. Today, though, the Jaguars get the job done with efficient play from Mac Jones, 174 yards, 15-22, couple touchdown passes today for him. And then in the receiving game, Brian Thomas Jr., 7 catches on 10 targets for 91 yards and a touchdown as well. And head coach Doug Peterson is with Bucky Brooks. Bucky?
Coach, thoughts on a good win today?
Yeah, it was a great win. I'm just proud of the guys, you know. Just finished up with the media in there, and you know, just told them, like, you know, these guys, they're not throwing in a towel, they're not waving a white flag, they're not crying uncle, they're battling their tails off, they're practicing, they're doing everything I'm asking them to do, coaches and players. And finally today we were rewarded for an opportunity to play a good game, play kind of a clean game, which we haven't played many of this season. And so, you know, proud of the guys. And I think I'm hoping that a game like today, when I say things like, you know, just make the plays that come your way. Well, you saw that today at the end. You know, and Antonio Johnson's in the right position to make that play. Foye knocks the ball out of Tyler Boyd's hands. You know, and different things. You know, Mason gets a chance to tip a pass, interception by Dan. Those are the things that I'm hoping now games like this can really sink in to our play. I just hate it that it's the end of the year and you got one left, but just proud of the guys. Battled their tails off, and they were rewarded for it.
You know, it's funny, in talking to a bunch of the players right after the game, they all mentioned Coach Doug said this, Coach Doug said that. He talked about finishing the right way, doing that, make sure we're being pros and those things. So to me, it tells me that you still have their ear. And as a coach, how are you still trying to impress upon these lessons that can help them going forward as you start thinking about 2025?
That's why they got, you know, they put C on our hat, right, for coach. We got to keep coaching our players. We got to keep coaching them up. I can't assume that the players that they know, and you know, we're going to have to do it again this week. We got to keep talking the same things, right? And just, it's almost like, you know, you just, it's like your own children sometimes. And you know, they're going to keep making mistakes, but you keep correcting them, and you keep correcting them. Eventually, you know, they work themselves out of it, and you know, that's part of this whole process too. It's kind of that growing up. You know, when you play some young players, they're learning how to play, you know, and understanding what the NFL is about. The NFL is about a 60-minute football game. It's never a 50-minute game. They're always going to be 60-minute games, and you know, one-score game that we were on the right side of today because of guys being in the right position, making the play, and now they're rewarded with a W.
You know, some of the silver linings that can come out of a season like this, you have a bunch of young guys play. We talk about Brian Thomas Jr. every day, every week, Parker Washington, Mason Smith, those young guys coming on. You've been around this game for a long time. Sometimes the light bulb comes off at different times. Have you seen all of those guys kind of have those aha moments as it gets down the stretch?
Yeah, you know, Brian has probably been the most consistent all year, right? And you know, Parker's kind of been that way now that, you know, obviously he's playing more and starting, and Mason, as he continues to grow, you know, in that tackle spot. I mean, that's a tough position to play, but he continues to improve and you know, is doing some really good things. So, you know, those are the guys that you build upon, you build around, and you keep adding pieces to, and you know, Trayvon and Josh keep doing their job and what they're asked to do, and Foye and Devin, all those guys, and it's just a matter of you got to lift each other up. You got to play complementary football, all three phases, but you're also playing complementary football on one side of the ball. Does that make sense?
Yes,
like
everybody,
linebacker, if you do your job, you're playing complementary execution, and that's what happened today. The guys executed well. I'm not saying it was a perfect game by no means, but they executed and made the plays when they had to.
Last thing, I got to get you out of here talking about the offensive line. So much change, injuries, Cole Van Landen starting. You have other guys going in. How proud are you about the effort that they displayed today?
They just keep showing up each week. I think our pass protection's been really good all season. You know, there are some things in the run game we can improve upon, but I thought today we hung with the run game too. And sometimes when you do that, you begin to wear down, you know, your opponent, and I think we did that today. And you know, can we finish the game better? Yeah, we can finish and try to get that first down. But overall, I thought the offensive line has done a solid job. You know, but again, you know, it's each week it's a unique deal because you're either playing an edge rusher or some interior D lineman, and today it was the interior guys, and so it's always a chess match each week.
Well, at least we won the chess match, and hopefully we can finish off the right way next week.
Yep, that's right.
Head coach Doug Peterson with Bucky Brooks after a Jaguars win over the Tennessee Titans 20-13. Back in a moment, reaction to that and much more ahead after the Jaguars win to improve to 4-12. And this is Jaguars Postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
To aim higher, run faster is what elite athletes do. Always strive for better. At UF Health, we have that same DNA to not just treat a stroke, but to create a fleet of mobile stroke treatment units, to not just do research, but to use AI to save lives with one of the most powerful supercomputers in academia. We believe, like athletes, that human progress has no finish line. UF Health, National Medical Center for Team USA.
Everyone circle up. I know it looks rough out there. Sure, we're down 24-6, but we came here to play differently. We need a game changer. Something like Ring Central, the business phone system that's more than a phone. I want you to communicate like you can talk to anyone, anywhere, all from the same app. Now get out there and play like you're using Ring Central.
Ring Central, simpler communications.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. Open an EverBank Performance Savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. EverBank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Something happens when you begin to believe. What seems way off in the distance gets closer.
You focus on what needs to get done, and you'll let nothing get in your way.
Next year becomes this year, and maybe next time becomes now.
A whole city will rally behind you and begin to believe too. Because when you believe, the unbelievable can happen. We believe in justice for everyone, and we believe we're the attorneys to help people get it. Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars. Jacksonville.
Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC. Call Florida Home AC today. Official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jags over the Titans 20-13. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor from the Hyundai Studios. We just heard from head coach Doug Peterson. Fred, that's a happier head coach this week. We'll take that, Doug, every week after a win. And those haven't come around too often this year, but what stood out the most?
Yeah, winning does that, man. It's like me at the slot machines. I lose $200 and I am upset. Listen, what Brian and I said before the game, man, you got to like winning, but you got to love losing. I mean, hate losing as much, right? And it was a team that showed up today, and I believe that was their mindset, to be able to have an opportunity to sweep our division rival in the Titans. Doug mentioned playing 60 minutes, which is what we saw today. Execution, not being out of position. We didn't see a lot of blown coverages. We knew the weather was going to be crappy starting the game. Those guys went in and they took advantage. They protected the football. Mac Jones played a very clean game, QBR 122. No turnovers, protected the ball. I love Mac's energy. The offensive line did pretty well. They did their best to protect him, and they ended up with 2 sacks. But I think across the board, everybody played hard. They fought. They didn't lay down and say, hey, let's just try and secure certain draft position or anything like that. They played 60 minutes of football, and as Doug mentioned, they were on the other side of the stick with the one-score game situation.
Yeah, it's frustrating that it just hasn't come together more often than it did today. But you go back to the early part of the offseason, Fred, and, Tennessee felt like they got one over on Jacksonville by outbidding them at the last minute for Calvin Ridley, and they were paying him $23 million a year on average. Now, the Jags were willing to pay him $20 million, but as it turns out, had the Jags signed Ridley, maybe we're not drafting Brian Thomas Jr. This year. So, I mean, you never know at the time. It felt like a loss to a division rival, but then you turn around, you've got the clearly superior player with a lot of career out in front of him, and you get the sweep against your division rival.
Yeah, but you also, with not making that move and having to pay Ridley, you reset the position, your roster position, by 5-6 years, and he's cheaper.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, it was a win-win by Jacksonville. Now that we know what we have in Brian Thomas Jr., I would just hope going forward we utilize it as such. We've called for it for a few months now. Throw the deep ball, give him an opportunity. And now here we are, the last 3 weeks of the season, we're seeing what he's capable of, maybe 4 weeks of the season. And he's a foundation piece. Put some other pieces around him. Hopefully we can get Trevor back healthy and as good as he's ever been. And hopefully this team can give us some excitement next year.
And remember, he's doing this right now without the frontline players around him. I mean,
and that helps.
Christian Kirk and Gabe Davis are out, and Evan Ingram's out, and, the quarterback's out. But
you're going to need that. Did you guys see the Cincinnati Broncos game last night?
Oh, yeah.
When you have a one-on-one, they're battling Surtain versus Chase, then you have to have a second guy who's really a number one, but you have to have your second guy step up and make plays, and that's just how the game plan goes. And hopefully they can figure that out here.
By the way, just saying.
Trust me, I know. I know. I will tell you what I would do if I was the GM, but what I would do is I would certainly try my best to bring him in.
Let's come back in a moment. We'll get the defensive play of the game. Plenty ahead after a Jaguars win over the Titans, 20-13, the final.
You recall a game where you've had 3 quarterback sneaks for a first down in the NFL?
Yeah, I think I did it. Maybe I did it once back in the day, but I definitely love the quarterback sneak, and Mitch has a great IQ for it. He really understands the play, and it's a great play. It's a high percentage play, and when the conditions are like that, it's a good play.
Did you feel more so than any of the other previous starts this year that you were, in a little bit better rhythm? Because it just seemed like you, it looked like you were more comfortable out there.
Yeah, not really. I mean, I played the same way each week, and sometimes that's the NFL. The chips fall a different way, the results fall a different way. But I stick to the same process, and I'm going to do that again this week so we can get another win.
Mac, it looks like the 2 touchdown passes, one of them you came off of Brian, and the one of them you checked to Brian. Is that accurate? Can you describe what happened in both those plays?
Yeah. I mean, I have to watch it, but the first one, the Parker, there's 3 guys going that way, and there was a little bit of a dropper, 17, so he kind of like got in my vision a little bit. I probably could have thrown it to Brian, but then I just came back to my second read, and then he made a great catch on the next one. They brought a blitz coverage, and it was man-to-man, so I just threw it to the back. He made a good catch in the line. Did a good job blocking.
And I noticed at the end of the game you hung onto that football. Any special reason or someplace that's going to?
No, I just like to keep it so we don't give it to the refs so they don't take it home.
To close out the home slate of games with a win, especially as a longtime Jaguars fan, what does that feel like?
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, it's a rivalry game, as we know, the Titans. So it was good to get that win and try and do it again next week against another rivalry opponent. So it's a good opportunity. I thought the guys played well. Defense did a great job at the end. Offense line did a good job. And then playing in those conditions was tough too. I think you can't overlook that for a lot of young guys. I thought BT did a great job in the rain, and the ball carriers did a good job holding on to the ball.
Now with one more week of this season, do you think this season coming here was a refresh or restart for your career?
Yeah, it's been fun. I really have enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to finishing this strong with another win.
Hey, Mac, you kind of just answered it to an extent, but overall, just what have Doug and his staff kind of meant for you this year? I know, obviously, the year hasn't gone how you guys have wanted, but just his leadership, his coaching, etc. Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, I've definitely found a little bit more joy in football, and that's a big credit to the coaches, and they just keep it loose no matter what, regardless of the results. Just going each week and have fun at practice, which is important for me, and obviously you want to translate that into wins, and that will come. So I've been really impressed with not only their football IQ and knowledge, but just how they run the team, and all the coaches really on the offensive side have done a great job.
Mac here in the back. 2 things. 1, did you keep the ball after that final kneel down?
Already asked.
Okay. 2, I saw you go over to the 100-year-old fan there in the stands. Tell me about that interaction.
That was insane. I don't know. I was just leaving the field, and I think Amanda told me, like, hey, look at that sign. And I was like, 100 years is crazy. But, yeah, I shook the lady's hand, and I'm glad we won on her birthday or whatever. So it was cool, but we'll see if I make it to 100.
Mac, back-to-back clean games, no turnovers.
Yeah.
How big is that for you, and where you want to be as a quarterback?
Great question. I think that's a big question with me a lot. I get that a lot, and I've been really focusing on it and studying it, and really just looking at the statistics and looking at the other games, watching other games. And at the end of the day, if you don't turn the ball over, you at least give your team a chance to win. So I got to continue to do that, hopefully 3 games in a row. But also, you're not going out there like, don't throw a pick, So there's a psychology of that. It's just going through my reads and take completions and survive the down, especially in a day like today, early in the game, survive the down with the weather.
So could you just add a little bit more detail to the post-game handshake with this lady? I'm assuming, did you know her name at all, or did you?
Honestly, she was just like looking at us, and she was happy to be there. So I didn't really say much. I just shook her hand and said congratulations or whatever, and thanks for the support.
Could you talk a little bit about what, if anything, a game like this will do to help spruce your resume? Because listen, you everything's on tape, and good or bad.
Yeah, I think
potential employers are looking at it.
Yeah, every play has a story, and unless you're in the building, in the room, you don't know what that story is. So there's been good ones and bad ones, and at the end of the day, I'm just going to try and what I've done is after the bye week really put my best foot forward and play better football, and we've been really good on 3rd down and done some things really well on offense. So hopefully we can build on that, and I'm going to continue to do that this week in practice. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Touchdown passes and gets a winning result for the Jags in Week 17. Time now for the Kingfish Pest Control Defensive Play of the Game. And yes, stop the presses. The Jaguars defense had a takeaway today. It was an interception. Devin Lloyd off a tip ball. First time in weeks the Jaguars have taken the football away. That's the Kingfish Pest Control Defensive Play of the Game. Let the pros tackle the pests in your home by going to kingfishpest.com. That's kingfishpest.com. Long time coming, Fred, on the interception.
But that's defense. It's ebbs and flows, little ups and downs. But as Doug mentioned, man, when you're in the right position, you're doing your assignment the way you're supposed to do it, you create those opportunities for yourself. along with a little pass rush here and there, a little tight coverage on the back end. And, again, you'll be in position to secure those turnovers, and much needed. And even more so, the offense was able to go down 5 plays later and punch it in and score a touchdown, not a field goal, but a touchdown. So in that moment, we looked like a playoff team. And, again, I think it's encouraging for the energy that you see on the sideline. The guys, sticking together, bouncing together, having fun, letting it all hang out. Again, it was just those 6 plays. It was just good to witness.
Yeah, and finally got over the top today in a Jaguars victory, 20-13, and all added up today for a record now of 4-12 for the Jags. We're back in a moment. Final stats ahead. Plenty more coming up on Jaguars Postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. Open an EverBank Performance Savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. EverBank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Are you ready for some football? Well, you are now, thanks to Ticketmaster. As the official ticket marketplace of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the NFL, Ticketmaster's got the best way to take it to the house when it comes to being there live. They're the safest and most convenient marketplace to score fully verified Jaguars tickets. And even if your plans get broken up or worse, turned over, Ticketmaster gives you more flexibility to sell your seats. So get those touchdown celebrations ready and score your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars.
A gift this good takes a while to unwrap. Get your best gift ever during the Toyotathon sales event before it's too late. Lease a new 2025 Toyota RAV4 LE Hybrid for $369 a month for 36 months. Offer valid through January 6, 2025. Well-qualified lessees with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. $36.68 due at signing. No security deposit with select equipment. $350 disposition fee. Excludes tax, tag, registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details. Toyota. Let's go places.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor from the Hyundai Studios after a Jags victory in Week 17, 20-13 the final. Jaguars now 4-12. The Titans 3-13. Jaguars sweep the season series against the Tennessee Titans. The Jaguars Radio Network is presented by UF Health. University of Florida Health is the proud healthcare partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We take a look at the final statistics in today's game. Total yardage in favor of Tennessee as they try to move down the field late. 337 yards to 295 for the Jaguars. Tennessee led the way there. Rushing yardage, 159 on the ground for Tennessee, 122 for the Jags. Passing net yardage, 178 for Tennessee, 173 for the Jags. The Titans 7 of 14 on third down. The Jaguars were 8 of 13. Penalties 5 for 34 yards against the Titans, 7 for 50 against the Jags, including another offside today and a key moment on a third down and 2. And one turnover. The takeaway, of course, by Devin Lloyd. Time of possession ended up pretty even, only 40 seconds more in favor of Tennessee today, and the Jaguars get the job done 20-13.
All right, individually, Mac Jones had a 122 quarterback rating today, 15 of 22 passing for 174 yards. 2 touchdowns, did not have an interception. Mason Rudolph, of course, did have that one pick. 193 yards on 19 of 31 passing, threw the 1 touchdown as well. Jags sacked Mason Rudolph 3 times. Mac Jones was sacked twice. Travis Etienne led the way on the ground for Jacksonville, 15 carries for 49 yards. Tank Bigsby, 11 for 33. Tajay Spears led all runners, 20 carries for 95 yards on the day. Brian Thomas Jr. continued his excellent rookie campaign, 7 catches, 91 yards, and his 10th receiving touchdown of the season on 10 targets. Parker Washington caught 3 for 31 with the other scoring catch. Calvin Ridley, the former Jag, led the way for Tennessee. He caught 5 for 84, while Chig Okonkwo had 5 for 42 at the tight end position. No surprise, Foye Oluokun led the way with 11 total tackles for Jacksonville, and sacks compiled by Josh Hines Allen, Trayvon Walker, and Mason Smith on the day.
5th best rating day in the career of Mac Jones today. Yep. And Fred, so he's got one more opportunity going into an offseason where he is a free agent.
He has 6 starts, just a few more games under his belt, always auditioning. I like to see Mac back here in whatever capacity. I like to see him back here, and I think as he continues to go, he'll continue to grow. But it's his energy, that I love about him. I don't see him flinch. I see him out there running around, having fun, dapping up the ref after he makes a 2-yard run. But it's the energy that's contagious for me. And I'm pretty sure he's a guy that the other players like to see in the locker room. I'm sure he brightens up their day when they come. And that's what you need, especially at the quarterback position too. Not to say he will unseat Trevor Lawrence for any of the listeners out there that might be swaying that way, but I do like Mac Jones. I wish we would have been in college together, even though he went to Bama.
You were going to go to Tuscaloosa then, huh?
No, I wasn't going there. I was never going to Tuscaloosa.
I didn't realize you were going to,
could you
disown Florida
Could you
today.
see me in Bama?
I would be great.
I'm a Florida boy.
It would have been great.
I am a Florida boy. I'm a Gator forever.
Would have been nice.
Excuse me? Say what?
Wait a minute.
Nah,
you heard me.
Tallahassee was on the radar for like 2 seconds.
I know it was.
Gainesville was the best thing that ever happened to me. Let's just cancel the rest of this conversation right now. But I could have saw a Jacksonville boy down in Gainesville, me and Mac hanging out, on University at the Swamp. Having a nice
unsweet
beverage.
nice tea,
for sure.
Yeah, of course.
We can have fun with Mac. I'm sure we'll kick it.
Let's come back in a moment. We got plenty ahead. We've got the player of the game voting.
Oh, this is a tough one. It's a tough one.
Tougher than usual.
Yes, it is. It's usually not that tough. Today we've got options. After a Jaguars win 20-13, this Jaguars postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Maximize your energy savings with a new energy-efficient heating and cooling system from Florida Home Air Conditioning, and you could save up to $4,500 through possible tax credits and other discounts. Purchase a new system today, and Florida Home Air Conditioning will buy back your old inefficient HVAC system. Request your complimentary consultation from Florida Home Air Conditioning, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit FloridaHomeAC.com for details, terms, and conditions.
License number CMC 1250399, CFC 1430664, EC 130-08557.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Hey fans, it's Tyson Campbell, cornerback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. This season, your game day is getting even tastier with Al's Pizza in the stadium. And every time we get a pick, you'll score. If the Jaguars get one interception, you'll enjoy buy one, get one free pizza at any Al's Pizza location Monday through Thursday after the home game. 2 interceptions, a free dessert. And 3 interceptions, that's a free appetizer. Just tell them you want the Jags pick. Up your game and get your Al's Pizza at the game or any of their locations.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with Hank and Sam from the Ford crew. Today, a new shipment of inventory.
Hank, what's going on?
Another hauler full of new Ford trucks and SUVs, Sam.
So much SUV capability. Is that?
Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 47 years. And a big selection means...
Big savings?
Yep, which means...
It's the best time to buy?
Well done, Sam. And time for America to get holiday ready with Ford.
Based on 1977 to 2023 CY Industry reported total sales.
Jaguars Postgame presented by Florida Home AC. Call Florida Home AC today, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Fred Taylor. We're at the Hyundai Studios after a Jaguars victory, 20-13 over the Titans. Time for the Jaguars Radio Network Player of the Game voting. I get a vote. Mike gets a vote. Fred Taylor gets a vote and a half to break any deadlocks. And we have options today.
Can I ask you a question?
I think you just did.
Well, okay.
Ask another one.
That's another one. Because, clear my throat and just trying to take advantage while I can. Mm-hmm. Because they just announced that I was a finalist again.
For the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
And I know it doesn't mean anything right now, right? But they did announce it.
They did announce
Can I get another half vote?
I was going to say, I thought he was going to go for 2.5. I really did. This was in my head. And we can just make it the Fred Taylor names the player of the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's even easier for us. I don't have to think. That's even better.
Nah, I was just messing around.
For today, I think
I like you guys a lot. And you guys made me what I am. So salute to y'all.
No.
That's Fred. Fred's done it all.
Nah, you guys have helped me become a better host on the Pivot. I can sincerely say that.
Well, that's very kind. However, you've done all the work necessary to get to that point. So.
We're the bearded gang in here,
I know,
right?
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
All right, let's get to the vote. I mean, you have 7,000 votes, Fred, to us one each, okay? That's fine. Who are you voting for today, Fred?
My man, Money Mac. Mac Jones, yeah. My Duval boy, man. Not a lot of yards there statistically, but 70% on the completion rate. Didn't put his team in any bad situations. Had the 2 touchdowns. Very accurate there. Placed the ball exactly where it needs to be to Parker on the back of the end zone there. Amazing touch pass to Brian Thomas Jr. And his QB best career rating at 122.2. I love his energy. Can't wait to hang out with him. Somebody let him know I want to hang out with him. And he's my player of the game vote right now today.
I kind of want to sit there and hang out, too. That'd be a fun
Well, we all
conversation.
should go.
And by the way, Mac, if you're listening, Fred's done in like 20 minutes. All right? Pull up. And
tell him to pull up.
There you go.
What side of town Mac lives on? I'll pull up.
That's above my pay grade.
Yeah.
I'm going with Freddie T. I was going to go with that choice anyway. I mean, look, Brian Thomas Jr. seems like he's always a good choice, and he would be again today. But Mac very efficient, throwing the football, only 5 incompletions, 2 touchdowns, and as Fred said, he protected the football on a pretty sloppy day out there.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. So Mac Jones, the Jaguars Radio Network Player of the Game, 15 of 22 through the air, 174 yards, 2 touchdown passes. His 5th best career rating, best as a Jaguar, 122.2, and he ran 6 times for 22 yards. And some key moments there to move the chains and get some yards. So Mac Jones gets it done today. If you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, look no further than Ford F-150, loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between. This truck makes tough look easy. Your local Ford dealer, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll take a look at the Baptist Health injury report when we return after Jaguars win 20-13 over the Titans. It's Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Maximize your energy savings with a new energy-efficient heating and cooling system from Florida Home Air Conditioning, and you could save up to $4,500 through possible tax credits and other discounts. Purchase a new system today, and Florida Home Air Conditioning will buy back your old inefficient HVAC system. Request your complimentary consultation from Florida Home Air Conditioning, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit FloridaHomeAC.com for details, terms, and conditions.
License number CMC 1250399, CFC 1430664, EC 130-08557.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Jaguars fans, huddle up. Do you own a vehicle made in the last 10 years? If your car is outside of factory warranty or with no warranty coverage, get the best defense against expensive auto repairs with CarShield, the official auto protection partner of the Jaguars. With plans to fit every budget, CarShield helps you cover up to 5,000 parts and systems. Call 800-471-1223 now or go to carshield.com/Jaguars. That's 800-471-1223. Coverage varies by plans. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida, CSI Companies partners with leading healthcare and technology organizations nationwide to deliver workforce solutions. CSI prides itself on building meaningful relationships and provides personalized operations to fuel the success of businesses, both big and small. Whether it's finding the right talent for a job or seamlessly managing a project from start to finish, CSI has 3 decades of experience in getting the job done. This is your workforce solutions reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com. Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC rolls along. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Fred Taylor at the Hyundai Studios after Jags win over the Titans 20-13. The injury report presented by Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. Brandon Sheriff has been dealing with everything all year and just continues to play through it. And he was on and off the field throughout the day today. One of the toughest son of a guns you'll ever see on the offensive line, veteran player, and was kind of in and out today, as we said. But that's been an ongoing thing all season long. He's been on the report most of the year at right guard. We'll see moving ahead. Left tackle Walker Little likely done for the year. And, of course, Cole Van Lanen made the start there today, likely again next week in the season finale. Ventrell Miller missed the game today. And so those are just a couple of notables that and Darnell Savage was in the concussion protocol. We'll see if he can come back at safety or on the field defensively at some point next week. We know the big long-term injuries, of course, Fred, are the big priority here. Trevor Lawrence has already gone under the knife with his shoulder issue, as Evan Ingram. We'll see what the future holds for him in Jacksonville down the line. Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis. All these guys are done for the year. All these guys have had surgeries, and now you got to see what's the bounce back ability of all these guys come spring.
Yeah, and as a scouting department, when you're evaluating talent and you're sort of making this checklist of the positions that need filling, it gets a little bit cloudy, at that, especially at the receiver position, because you just don't know how these guys are going to respond. You have 2 of your free agents that you signed over the last 3 years. Kirk 2 years ago, right?
Yep.
3 years ago.
This was his 3rd season.
Right. So, and then Gabe Davis there along with Trevor. So it's a big part of the offense. So, but again, you're sort of, you want to let them come back, let them go through the offseason, at least go through OTAs if they're capable and if they're able to be back at full speed, just to evaluate and see what you have there. Free agency is going to be key for this team. We've gotten better in the draft in the late rounds, but I think that we got to hit some home runs in free agency, like really get some dogs to come in here, get some guys to go and compliment Brian Thomas Jr. Some question marks might be there at the running back position. I don't want to start over speculate, but it is what it is. I like to see better play at that position, me personally. And then up front at the offensive line, defensively, secondary is another big question mark. So the evaluators, they got some decisions to make here, and not a whole lot of time in the big scheme of things. So we'll see how it goes.
But I mean, Fred, it's really difficult to have so much free agents to success. I mean, the 2016-17 era was like an all-time level of hits in free agency of guys that were really good players still that weren't cast off for other reasons either. I mean, Calais Campbell is like one of the great free agent signings in the history of
the
league. I mean, he's still doing it. He could have stayed here as long as but they moved him on. That's just one example. You're not going to find those guys every day, so you can't lean on free agency, but you need to have some success somehow on the field there.
Yeah, you do want to have that success on the field. It's a lot of things involved. I mean, coaching, players playing, players studying, players doing the right assignments, all that stuff. But when I look at free agency, I look at what the Rams were able to do, right? And then even after they signed all those guys they need to sign. They went out and they won big. And then they lost all of those guys, and they're still winning.
Yeah,
this is a team that's still very good. What's the question? What is the next question? Coaching? What happens? So, I think coaching is a big part of it. Players you got to find the guys that hate losing again more than they like winning. Guys that are going to fight. Guys that are going to, be the calculated headaches in the locker room. Guys that are going to rally everybody else up and say, we got to go fight. We got to be dogs out here. And not no softies and all that stuff, but guys that are going to stand up for winning and house the locker room and make the coach's job that much easier so they can focus more on the game plan and not have to babysit the locker room. But it's a whole lot involved. Again, I'm not in the building every day. I would love to be the fly on the wall so I can kind of consult and give my 2 cents. So yeah, I'm sort of reaching, maybe over talking a little bit, but these are the things that I know from experience.
Yeah, sure.
It's just that my involvement isn't on a day-to-day, and really calling it out doesn't weigh a lot.
But it's clear. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of that this year. I mean, the way they've lost all these games, and I mean, they continue to be in the games, but when we heard Andrew Wingard this week, that was one of the first times we've heard somebody, at least publicly,
but you have to have those type of guys that want to fight,
right?
That want to try to get out there.
You might want to, but
even
you gotta go do it.
The qualification piece of it doesn't match, right? What you're asking, but just the want to have that fire and that want to be out there. I'll fight with those type of guys, right? A guy who isn't as fast, who isn't as talented, but I know you want to win. I know you hate losing. Line me up with him all day, and we'll figure it out. Because if you get a prima donna, a guy who's just want to come in and cash his checks, like I'm paid, I don't care, we'll get over it.
We've seen that before.
I don't want to play with you. I do not want to be out there with you because you're going to upset me. You're going to frustrate me, and now I got issues.
But then they're here because they're under contract. So, I mean, you got to figure that out before it even gets in the locker room.
There you go. We got to figure out something on the front end.
It's hard to do, though, in free agency.
I mean, but we have to have guys that care, guys that have been in the building. Like someone that you don't always love to see coming. And one of my good friends in Tony Baselli, right? You don't always I love to see him coming, but some people don't always love to see Tony coming because he's going to tell you how it is. You need the hard truths to be in this building, somebody who cares for this organization. And they're not going to let you go out there and just hire anybody or just pick up the sexy name. Like, they're going to vet that throughout that process and say, all right, this is what we need and this is how it should be. Because this is how it was. We learned from a great coach in Tom Coughlin. And times have changed, but the foundation, that's still there. You got to have integrity. You got to have sense of urgency. Like, you got to have all those things. So, yeah, that's just my 2 cents.
It's a good 2 cents. It's more than that. It's worth a whole lot more than just 2 cents, that's for sure.
We'll see.
We're back in a moment. We'll get our final thoughts. after this Jaguars win over the Titans 20-13. It's Jaguars Postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
To aim higher, run faster. It's what elite athletes do. Always strive for better. At UF Health, we have that same DNA to not just treat a stroke, but to create a fleet of mobile stroke treatment units. To not just do research, but to use AI to save lives with one of the most powerful supercomputers in academia. We believe, like athletes, that human progress has no finish line. UF Health, National Medical Center for Team USA.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. Open an EverBank Performance Savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. EverBank, Advantage You. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
A gift this good takes a while to unwrap. Get your best gift ever during the Toyotathon sales event before it's too late. Get 3.99% APR for 36 months on a new 2025 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. Offer valid through January 6, 2025. Zero down for well-qualified buyers with approved credit and financing through Southeast Toyota Finance. $29.52 monthly payment for every $1,000 finance. Excludes tax, tag, registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
Something happens when you begin to believe. What seems way off in the distance gets closer.
You focus on what needs to get done, and you'll let nothing get in your way.
Next year becomes this year, and maybe next time becomes now. A whole city will rally behind you and begin to believe too.
Because when you believe, the unbelievable can happen. We believe in justice for everyone, and we believe we're the attorneys to help people get it. Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars. Jacksonville.
Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC. Call Florida Home AC today, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor on the Jaguars Radio Network, presented by UF Health. The 50-50 raffle brought to you by Duval Ford. Today, the winner takes home $12,831 of the $25,662 total jackpot. Winning number 990-320-29530. Best of luck. Hope you take home a couple wins today. One from the Jaguars and one from the 50-50 raffle. Next week, Week 18, Jaguars at the Colts. The Colts were eliminated from playoff contention today with an inexplicable loss to the New York Giants. So the game has zero meaning in the playoff picture. Most likely it will be scheduled for 1 o'clock Sunday because of that, to get it out of the way. The official schedule should be announced maybe later tonight, but could be tomorrow even. The Monday night game could be impacted in this thing too. So we'll see. So keep an eye out for the schedule, but most likely 1 o'clock Sunday for the Jaguars at the Colts. And Fred, another chance to sweep a division rival and finish with a winning record in the division, even though it hasn't gone very well this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Colts, another divisional matchup, and it's another football game. You got to get excited when you get out there to play football and finish this season strong on a high note, back-to-back wins, which we hadn't seen this year, which would always be a positive, and then you kind of go in the offseason, reset yourselves, and hope to return to have a better season than – I'm just going to call it and say they'll finish this season 5-12, a better season than 5-12.
So you're going to call it a win? Yeah. You're guaranteeing a win. You're locking a win.
Want me to call that a lock?
Yeah.
Or a guarantee?
Why not?
Well, I got to make sure I add a disclaimer.
Okay.
Because we got all these different betting things
No,
going on
we
in the
don't.
world.
We do not.
No,
Yes.
not we. Not
Right,
us.
right.
But the environment.
Okay. The world we live in today.
Yeah, people have access to these
There you
things
go.
in
Now
this
we're talking.
world. But no, don't go out there and do it because I said it's just I'm a Jaguars fan, and I'm always optimistic. And I'm looking at the Jags and what they did today, which I thought they would win today. And then next week, if they can go out there, stop the run better than they did today, and then get after who's ever at quarterback, whether it's Richardson or
Flacco.
Joe
today.
Flack, then they'll get a chance to win.
Jonathan Taylor, though, running it.
He's been running it well. For
You
2
know, I
weeks
like
now.
28 with Taylor on the back.
Yeah.
Come on now. But, yeah, they got to just get after him. They got blew out today. They gave up 45.
Yeah, they did. Absolutely. Mike?
Want to see some of these young guys, man. See Mason Smith continue to go on an upward trajectory. Obviously, Brian Thomas Jr. Let's finish on a high note. Keep them all healthy, obviously, going into the offseason. Today was one of the rare days where Jordan Jefferson was active, and the same week when Mason Smith was active. And so hopefully we'll get that again to be the case next week, and he can flash a little bit for us. Like to see Ventrell get back. Don't know if that's likely or not, but, you know. That's what, to me, it's about right now, the young core that's going to be counted on for even bigger roles in 2025.
I'm with you on that.
Time and day officially to be determined, but considering both teams are out of the playoff picture, most likely Sunday, 1 o'clock. We'll be on at noon, if that's the case, with countdown to kickoff next Sunday. Fred, have a great week, and we'll talk to you.
Hey, man, I'll be right here.
Love that.
You know, I'll be right here.
Happy New Year.
Really quick, JP,
Yeah.
if you guys can just look at the amount of 40-point games given up this week, probably the first time off season there have been at least 4 40-point games in a week.
In the
I mean, a lot of
NFL.
guys are quitting. This team did not quit.
That's right.
Hopefully we don't see that next week.
Just keep on playing.
Got to keep playing.
Good to see you, Fred.
Always, man.
Congrats
Good to see you.
again.
And I like your beard, bro.
Hey, I like yours too,
And
bro.
Mike, I like your beard
JP's
too.
like Grizzly Adams over here, man.
How you doing in fantasy?
Decided to go.
I know you got like 19,000 leagues.
I got. I'm in 4 championships out of 14 leagues, so it's not bad.
What's that, like 30%? Is that good?
Yeah,
25?
I think it's pretty
About
good.
25,
It's that
17.
good.
Yeah. I'm happy with. I was in 4 semifinals, and they're all still going. So
Okay.
put it that way.
Well, good luck to you.
All right, and likewise.
See you guys in the next year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
See y'all next year.
And good luck getting what you so richly deserve with the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Man, I appreciate that. Yep.
Fred Taylor, pride of the Jaguars running back, Pro Football Hall of Fame finalist for another year. Let's get him across the finish line. We're back in a moment on our flagship station with the Scoreboard Show. We'll take your calls after a Jaguars win. Thanks to our entire crew, both here at the Miller Electric Center and at Everbank Stadium. For Fred Taylor, Bucky Brooks, Mike Dempsey, I'm JP Shadrick saying good evening. Final score for the final time, Jaguars 20, Titans 13 on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Welcome to the Jaguars Scoreboard Show. This is your chance, Jaguars fans, to sound off about today's game. The Jaguars Scoreboard Show is brought to you by University of Florida Health, Farah and Farah, Baptist Health, and by Everbank. Now, waiting to hear from you, here are Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks, and JP Shadrick.
Scoreboard.
Hey now.
Jaguars win it 20-13. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Brian Sexton in at the Hyundai Studios. Jaguars get it done today to improve their record of 4-12. They sweep the Tennessee Titans for the season, who fall to 3-13. And hey, Brian, good afternoon. All right.
Hey, and they're sitting 2 spots lower in the draft order. But if Cleveland beats Miami, they'll sit just 1 lower.
Giants won today.
Yeah.
I mean,
pretty
crazy day.
I don't care about that at this point. I wanted to win over the Titans, and they got it. Wasn't always pretty. There's some things that they've got to do better. I just want to touch on something I heard you just say, and that was Jordan Jefferson, who was active today with Mason Smith and was really active in the middle of the defensive line. He tipped that ball that ended up getting intercepted. Thought he played really well. I want to see more of those guys. Next week, let me see Keelan Robinson return a kickoff.
Why wouldn't you?
Let me see Trey Prince. Let me see the young guys on the field next week especially.
Yeah,
because when you saw Mason Smith and Jordan Jefferson both making plays today, you kind of feel good. All right, these are guys that I can look forward to developing in the offseason.
Mason Smith starting to put a few good games in a row together right now. And, for him, he talked about it after the game, what that means for him. And, I don't know how much carryover there is from one season to the next in terms of the one-loss record. But I do think, if a young guy plays well and contributes to a victory, it can definitely put him in a good, level of confidence or mind frame.
Well, one thing we know for certain, there's nothing bad about winning at the end of the year from a player's perspective.
Not from the player's perspective.
If you're a younger perspective.
Yep.
Right? If you're a younger player, you're going to be here. There's nothing bad about playing well and winning at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's what you're paid to do.
Yeah,
just go play football games and win them and perform well. And that's what the Jaguars as a team collectively did today. And, hey, Mac Jones finally got across the finish line with one here, Brian, and a couple of touchdowns day for him. Not huge numbers, but his fifth best career passer rating today.
Well, he didn't throw any bad balls. I mean, there was the one to Brian Thomas down the sideline in the second quarter that he threw behind him. And if he had led them a little bit more, based on the 31-yard catch a series before, you feel real good about where he's able to go with the ball. But other than that, he was accurate, 68%. 15 of 22. Played within himself and played with energy, which I'm watching some of the backup quarterbacks around the league today and not seeing a lot of that. So it was good.
It was good. It was a good day.
It was a good day.
Not a great day. It was
Listen,
a good day.
I walked out of the stadium with a lot of fans who all had smiles on their faces. They enjoyed the home team winning today. So from that perspective, from a franchise perspective, it's good.
Yeah, I imagine if you stayed to the end in this weather today, you were
there
wanting to see that Jaguar victory.
There were a lot. The clubs were full. I mean, to the brim all day long. So people were kind of wandering in and out depending on the weather.
Brian Thomas Jr. continues to trend the right way. 10 targets, 7 catches, 91 yards, another touchdown today, and it just continues. We talk about this every single week, and they keep feeding him the football.
So hard to defend. So incredibly hard to defend because not just fast, not just a guy who can jump because his height, but he's got his arms. He's got these long arms and these huge hands, and he's able to just snatch the ball and pull it away. Not too dissimilar from what T. Higgins did yesterday against the Broncos or Keon Coleman today. If you saw his touchdown, he's able to go snatch the ball away and take it away from other defensive backs. And listen, he's really good already. It'll be exciting to see what he can become.
Defensively today, 3 sacks. You mentioned Mason Smith, but Walker and Hines Allen both get in on the act today as well. And the defense gave up 13 points. They had a few of the bigger plays on that final drive to get them down the field, but they didn't give up the big backbreaker to tie the game late.
Can I give Josh Hines Allen my vote for player of the game? I've told the story before. I don't know whether I've told it on this show, but I remember in 2018, the Broncos came in here, and I kept looking for Von Miller, right, all day long. Von Miller's a dominant pass rusher, best player on the field, did nothing until the fourth quarter.
Yep.
Then Blake Bortles got the Jaguars over midfield, 1st and 10, with a chance to kick a game-tying field goal, 3-4 minutes left. First down, tackle for a loss, Von Miller. Second down, hits the quarterback, ball sails incomplete. Third down, tackle for a loss, game over, right? That was Josh Allen on the second series for the Titans in the third quarter today. They got the ball out near the 40-yard line. They had some momentum. Because remember, from the 2-minute and 2-second mark of the second quarter until the 6:51 mark of the third quarter, they ran 23 consecutive plays and had the ball for 10 minutes and 11 seconds. So you get out there and you go 3 and out. You put that tired defense back out there, and Josh Allen has the tackle for a loss on Spears for 5, the sack, the very next play for a 7-yard loss, and then makes the tackle on Chigakwanko that ends it and forces them to punt momentum over. Jaguars go down the field on the next series, get the touchdown to go up. So for me to see the guy that they paid all that money to step in on an important series and deliver back-to-back-to-back plays, I give him my vote for player of the game.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded that. I actually thought about him, but lining up off sides for the second week in a row, I mentally took him.
You are a stickler for details.
Well, it's all part of the package. You're right. He had a great sequence on that drive, and it was an important
game-turning
time in the game.
sequence.
Absolutely.
355 NFL1 is the number, 355-6351. We will take your calls when we return. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
touchdown at Jaguars away games when you fly nonstop from Jacksonville International Airport. Join the Jaguars in Miami and Houston. Watch them win in Philly, Detroit, Nashville, and Las Vegas. All the other Jaguars games are just one short connection away. And if airport parking has you stressed, be sure to visit the Jax Airport website before traveling to the terminal. On it, you'll find information about the status of on-airport parking in real time. See if your favorite areas are available or if you need to call an audible. Visit flyjax.com for more information.
Football is back. Celebrate with a gay Duval meal deal. Score 2 roller grill favorites and a 20-ounce Coca-Cola soft drink for just $4.50. That means you can choose any 2 to pair with your Coke. 2 hot dogs, 2 tornadoes, 2 roller bites, or mix and match. Whether you're stopping for a quick snack or tailgating with friends, this is a victory for every Jags fan. Deal happening now through January 2nd, 2025. Stop by to purchase in store.
Jags fans, are you ready to upgrade your living space? Enter for a chance to win the ultimate furniture giveaway. You could enhance your home with a new sectional, queen mattress, or queen bedroom set, courtesy of Furniture Source. One lucky fan will receive new furniture after every Jaguars home game this season. Don't miss out. Enter today by visiting jaguars.com/sweepstakes. Jaguars.com/sweepstakes. Selections will vary by game.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. Open an EverBank Performance Savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. EverBank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Brian Sexton. The Scoreboard Show continues from the Hyundai Studios. 355-NFL-1, the number 355-6351. Jags 20, Titans 13. Jaguars now 4-12. Titans fall to 3-13. The Jaguars sweep the season series against the Titans. Have a chance to do it next week against the Indianapolis Colts as well. And the phone lines are open. What you got, Mike?
Well, our first caller of the afternoon is going to be Nick out at the beaches. Nick, you're on the Scoreboard Show. Go ahead, please.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was just going to say that I'm someone who's pretty frustrated by this win. Obviously, the players and coaches are going to try their best to win, obviously, every game. But I just find it very frustrating that, like, the Giants won, and we have a chance, like, with the Patriots going to play the Bills next week, they have a good chance of winning. With the Bills are probably going to rest their players. So I just find it very frustrating we won. I don't know. It just feels like this season, like, I really wanted to get something out of it. Like Travis Hunter would be so exciting to get him to come to Jacksonville. And it just seems like not going to happen, obviously. And, yeah, I'm just frustrated. But, obviously, Mac got it done. And also, the last thing is just frustrating the Titans. They might get their franchise quarterback out of this. We'll see. But, yeah, it's just frustrating for me. So, yeah.
Thanks for the call. I mean, what did they drop down to 4 now?
No, they're 5 now. But if Cleveland beats Miami, they'll be 4.
I mean, who says Travis Hunter wouldn't go that far?
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, everyone's got him as the third pick because he's such a talented guy. But hold on, I mean, wait until we see.
You never know, like what
how
could
guys
happen.
work out.
Quarterbacks go up the board and stuff. You never know.
Lots of things. If you're sitting in the top 5, you also have the chance to move up to find somebody that you like. And the Jaguars do have extra draft choices. So I wouldn't necessarily say that just because they're sitting at 4 instead of 3 or having moved up to 2. I will say this: I sure hope we're not training people to want to lose games at the end of the year.
Yeah,
right?
come on.
I mean, that's.
Well, I think it depends on the circumstance. I mean, clearly the last couple of years they weren't rooting for that because you had a chance to go to the postseason.
Yeah.
Fans are savvy, man. They're not
I'm
just
not
saying, hey,
they're
let's
not.
lose for the sake of losing.
No, I'm not saying they're not savvy. I'm just winning matters at some point, and you're sitting in a position where you still have a shot at getting good guys. So it's not like you fell down to 13.
We were just sitting here on the break saying the New York Giants are crazy. Like,
well, but they need a quarterback, and that's really listen.
Okay.
When you're talking about a quarterback, in 2020, I wanted the Jaguars to keep losing because Trevor Lawrence was sitting there. I totally get that.
But to me, it's not just about Travis Hunter. It's about if you're sitting up there, they've got to come to you and pay you off. Even if you end up with the same guy, whether it's Travis Hunter or Will Campbell or any number of guys, if you move back, you're going to get extra draft capital for your trouble.
But are we sure that any of the quarterbacks – is Cam Ward that good?
I'm not
Shador
sure
Sanders?
if any of them are that good,
Well,
but I'm sure that some team is going to believe that one of them is the one that they have to have.
To pay a ransom, though, is my question.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, what would be a cheap ransom in today's NFL? Let's say the Giants have to move up, like they want to jump Tennessee, right? Where they sit right now. They're in the third spot behind Tennessee. And they believe Shador Sanders or Cam Ward is the one that they have to have. Okay? So they move up to number 1 with New England. And they give him a second rounder this year and a second rounder next year. That's a premium player, right? Like in most years when it's like, a battle, you're talking about multiple firsts. I'm not even talking about that kind of haul. Could this team use a couple of extra second-round picks? Of course they could, So, look, again, we don't know where it's all going to fall, and I don't fault them. And I think even, our caller Nick there said it. You can't blame the team and the players for going out there and trying to win. And I don't. I think the organization, look, the only way you can do it is to bench guys. I was surprised that the Giants elected to play Malik Neighbors today because he has been injured all week, was questionable to play. Tyrone Tracy didn't practice all week. And they didn't even put him on the injury report. I was shocked because that's the way you tank, by holding your guys out.
Just this thought. Is Puka Nacua a premium player?
Yes.
What round was he taken in?
Fine.
You
so
can
is
find
Tom
these guys.
Brady. Okay, do you want the 199th pick or you want the first pick?
No, I'm just saying you can find
can
good players and great players throughout the draft. It's replete. The history of the draft.
Sure. But if you're picking first, you got your choice of all of them. And if you know what you're doing, you got a lot better chance to hit a great player there than you do. I mean, look, sure, you got to do it with Puka Nacua. Fred Taylor, we were talking about what the Rams have done, and we went into the break and we're talking, look, they invested all this in veteran players, traded away all their first-round picks, but then they nailed picks like Kyron Williams and Puka Nacua and Jared Brooks.
You got to nail the
Brandon
picks.
You got to nail
the picks.
Right. But nothing wrong with, hey, let's nail a few third and fourth rounders and still have that elite talent at the top of the draft.
You know where I am on this one. I know where you are on this one. I know where Nick is on this one. I understand it.
Again, I'm not faulting the Jags for going out there and performing today. That's what they're supposed to do. So, the chips are falling where they're falling. And I totally get, though, the fans who are frustrated with it. Like, man, we're this close. The end of the season's almost here. We might have an elite talent staring us in the face, and we might miss out on the opportunity not only to get that guy, but to get paid off for moving back and still getting that guy. So, it's an interesting discussion, and it's not one that's going to stop anytime soon, I don't think.
355 NFL 1, the number, 355-6351. Let's come back. More of your calls. Phone lines are open after a Jags win, 20-13 over the Titans. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio. Headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida, CSI Companies partners with leading healthcare and technology organizations nationwide to deliver workforce solutions. CSI prides itself on building meaningful relationships and provides personalized operations to fuel the success of businesses, both big and small. Whether it's finding the right talent for a job or seamlessly managing a project from start to finish, CSI has 3 decades of experience in getting the job done. This is your workforce solutions reimagined. Visit CSIcompanies.com.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
A quality replacement window made with Fibrex material, which is 2 times stronger than vinyl, delivered through a stress-free process. Welcome to Renewal by Anderson. Get the peace of mind knowing Renewal by Anderson handles everything from start to finish. With one call, you'll enjoy working with the best people, exclusive products, and superior process. It's the people, it's the process, it's the product. For a limited time, buy one, get one 40% off all windows and doors, plus 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
Hey Jaguars fans, are you tired of being late to the game because you're stuck in traffic looking for a parking space? Well, join the thousands of other Jags fans who already know the smartest way to get to Everbank Field is on JTA's Game Day Express. Shuttles run from 5 locations around Jacksonville. Passes start at $10 and are available exclusively on the MyJTA mobile app. Visit JTAFLA.com for full details. The JTA Game Day Express, where you're winning before the game even starts. Your Game Day Express is sponsored by the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens.
A quality replacement window made with Fibrex material, which is 2 times stronger than vinyl, delivered through a stress-free process. Welcome to Renewal by Anderson. Get the peace of mind knowing Renewal by Anderson handles everything from start to finish. With one call, you'll enjoy working with the best people, exclusive products, and superior process. It's the people, it's the process, it's the product. For a limited time, buy one, get one 40% off all windows and doors, plus 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show. Scoreboard Show continues right now.
355 NFL 1, the number 355-6351. The Scoreboard Show continues. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey and Brian Sexton at the Hyundai Studios after a Jaguars win 20-13. Phone lines are filling up. What you got?
We've got Mary in St. Augustine next up here on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, Mary.
Hi, how are you guys doing? Sorry, I lost my voice from the game.
Well, that must mean you were cheering and probably happy about at least what was going on in the field, whether or not you're happy about it.
I take a win. We only get, 17 games a year. And I used to be a season ticket holder and go to every game, but now I only come back once a year. So I was very excited to be there, even though the season isn't going as well as I'd hoped.
Yeah, well, glad you made it out today. What's on your mind?
Yeah, so to end on more of a positive note, I know this is not about the current team, but Fred Taylor has been one of my favorite players, and I know he's up for a Hall of Fame nomination again this year. And I was curious, I'm not really sure how the process works, and I was curious if there's something different Fred's doing, this year to help him get that nomination across the line.
Well, thanks for the call. You just got to be in that process. Last year was the first time Fred was a Hall of Fame finalist, down to 15 of the modern era candidates. And those are the guys that go, quote unquote, into the room on Super Bowl weekend, and the selection committee picks 5 from that 15. He didn't make that cut last year. They actually cut it down to 10, and then the final 5 are the ones announced. So there's really not a whole lot he can do because the process is what it is at this point.
No, listen, so each one of the 15 players in the room will have a presenter who will have 5 minutes. And for Jacksonville, it's Sam Kavaris, the longtime sports director at Channel 4. I imagine I'll be having a conversation with Sam sometime in the next week or two. he will do a lot of research, and he will talk to a lot of players. For instance, the last time that that he came up, I mean, the calls just came in from players who played against Fred, right? All the great players for the Baltimore Ravens defense all wanted to call and give a strong endorsement for Fred. And so Sam will put together a presentation. It can only be 5 minutes, and then he will get up and he will field questions and make the case for Fred. And he had a really good presentation last year, and I assume he'll have a really good presentation this year, and it'll be on him to deliver the message, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
And we saw how long it took on Tony Baselli's part of it. Sometimes it just takes a number of years to finally find a year that makes sense and fits with everything else that's going on.
Well, there's some new, younger voters in that room, and, they didn't cover Fred. And so, the more that he's in the room and the more that his name is in conversation, they talk about him, the more opportunities he has to get the votes he needs.
Yeah, when Baselli was up for it, I mean, we'd go to the Super Bowl, we'd interview these great players. John Hanna, arguably the greatest interior offensive lineman who ever played.
I don't even think it's arguable. He is.
Said he's never seen a better tackle than Tony Baselli.
Anthony Munoz,
right, who said he was the greatest. He had, taking himself out of it, obviously, which many people consider him the best tackle to ever play the game. I mean, that's where it was, and it still took Baselli years with that kind of support from Hall of Fame talent out there.
You look at the names that are on the list with him. I mean, there's some new guys this year, obviously. I don't think anyone would argue that Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer at some point. Whether he gets in there on the first ballot or not, I don't know. But he has 2 Super Bowl wins. I think Luke Kuechly is a guy that deserves deserves where he's at. And then
Antonio Gates.
That was the name I was bringing from last year. I mean, there's everyone who's there belongs in the conversation. But these guys try to fit who has to go in before who. That's they did that with Baselli. So and so had to go in. So and so had to go in.
But it's clear Fred is the next running back up.
No doubt.
Period. The question is that this year?
Who's the next running back who hasn't gotten there yet?
Maybe Frank Gore.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just look at the total rushing yardage in his career, he's up there.
I think he hasn't been retired long enough to even
Not yet.
No, but he'll be the next
that's right.
guy.
You want to get Fred in before Frank gets into the room.
Look, Frank Gore's a hell of a player. Fred Taylor was so much more a guy that would keep defensive coordinators up at night than Frank Gore ever was.
Well, and Ray Lewis made the point to Sam, who conveyed it in his meeting. And, of course, Ray Lewis is a Hall of Famer, so he's a guy who can pick up the phone and lobby on Fred's behalf. But they always talked about how Fred was the guy that you didn't want to see.
Yeah, Fred is the only running back finalist this year.
Right.
So
and
we'll
he's
see.
the only running back in NFL history with more than 11,000 rushing yards that's not in the Hall of Fame.
What does Steven Jackson have? Do you have the rushing totals up there? He's in that ballpark. I'm not making the case that he's better than Fred Taylor, but you measure these guys like Jimmy Smith. If you look at Rod Smith's career numbers, they're strikingly similar.
Right.
And he's won 2 Super Bowls.
Right. And see that you can't ever forget. A very wise man once said to me, don't forget it's called the Hall of Fame. And a guy like Steven Jackson played on those great St. Louis Rams teams with all those great players, and he was more famous in many respects because he played on those teams.
Well, he wasn't on the Greatest Show on Turf teams, so that was Marshall Faulk back in the day. But still a very good player.
To your point, Steven Jackson is right behind Fred Taylor, 11,438 yards, 18th all-time. Fred Taylor, 17th all-time. Everybody else above that is in the Hall of Fame, except for Frank Gore, who's 3rd all-time, 16,000 rushing yards, and Adrian Peterson.
And he'll get in.
Yeah. He should get in
as well,
at some point.
Right?
He still does. He's retired. Last season was 2021.
No time like the present. Get Freddie in, and we can worry about all these. Then we can start getting Jimmy to this point in the process, hopefully.
No pressure, Sam.
Yeah. All right. Let's get another one in before we hit our next break. Let's go to Greg in Georgia checking in on the Scoreboard Show. Go ahead, Greg.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I drive down from outside Athens, Georgia for every home game, and I just want to remind fans that are upset about the fact that we won today, that we drafted in the top 5 to 10 for 12 of the last 15 years, and look where the team is. So enjoy the day, enjoy the win. Freddie to the Hall of Fame, Duval till we die, go Jags, baby. And, we'll come back next year and see how it goes. But, Nick, this is for you. Enjoy it, man. These don't come around very often for us. And you being upset that we won, like, you motivated me to call call in. So go Jags, Duval, baby. And
thanks for driving down.
guys.
Greg, thanks for driving
appreciate
down.
it,
Met a guy today who drives up from Sarasota every week. And for you guys in particular, driving home with a win, 3-4 hours, has got to be satisfying.
Yeah, that's a good point you just made, too. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they've had all these top 5 picks, and they haven't been very good.
Yeah.
Even after them.
Yeah. What you do with it, we did have a quick conversation about it. You're just not sure how your board's going to stack out until you get through your evaluation process. So you want Travis Hunter, I get it. He's not going to be the same player at the NFL level. He's not going to play every snap. He's just not. So if you're looking for a corner, I think that's a bigger need than wide receiver, obviously. How about the kid Will Johnson from Michigan? He's a terrific player. He's been injured this year. I get it. Just because the guy that you really want is maybe not on the board doesn't mean that there's not someone that can really make your team better too. So
let's come back. Phone lines are open, 355-NFL1, the number 355-6351 after a Jaguars win over the Titans and a sweep of the Titans in 2024. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Football is back. Celebrate with a gay Duval meal deal. Score 2 roller grill favorites and a 20-ounce Coca-Cola soft drink for just $4.50. That means you can choose any 2 to pair with your Coke. 2 hot dogs, 2 tornadoes, 2 roller bites, or mix and match. Whether you're stopping for a quick snack or tailgating with friends, this is a victory for every Jags fan. Deal happening now through January 2nd, 2025. Stop by to purchase in store.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
Touchdown at Jaguars away games when you fly nonstop from Jacksonville International Airport. Join the Jaguars in Miami and Houston. Watch them win in Philly, Detroit, Nashville, and Las Vegas. All the other Jaguars games are just one short connection away. And if airport parking has you stressed, be sure to visit the Jax Airport website before traveling to the terminal. On it, you'll find information about the status of on-airport parking in real time. See if your favorite areas are available or if you need to call an audible. Visit flyjax.com for more information.
Hey, Jaguars fans, are you tired of being late to the game because you're stuck in traffic looking for a parking space? Well, join the thousands of other Jags fans who already know the smartest way to get to Everbank Field is on JTA's Game Day Express. Shuttles run from 5 locations around Jacksonville. Passes start at $10 and are available exclusively on the MyJTA mobile app. Visit JTAFLA.com for full details. The JTA Game Day Express, where you're winning before the game even starts. Your Game Day Express is sponsored by the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens.
It's game time, Jaguars fans, and Publix knows that football is all about pairings. A high-scoring offense paired with a stingy defense. A rocket-armed QB paired with a dynamic wide receiver. And at Publix, you can pair hot deli chicken tenders with savory dips, delicious sub platters with ice-cold beverages, and you can pair these tailgate essentials with an entire parking lot full of Jaguars fans chanting, Duval! Gear up for your tailgate at Publix, the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show. Scoreboard Show continues right now.
We're back. Jaguars win it 20-13 over the Titans. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Brian Sexton. We're at the Hyundai Studios. 355-NFL1, the number. 355-6351. The calls are rolling in.
Well, apparently Doug in Arlington knows the number. He's next up on the Scoreboard Show. Hello, Doug. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you guys?
Excellent.
Great.
What's up, man?
Hey, man, I just want to say great game today. I'm so happy we got to sweep the Titans. It's just the greatest day ever, you know?
Wow, of all time.
It's been a bad year.
Right.
To get a good day like this matters.
Jeez.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's just greatest game. I mean, they played really well. I was at the game, and, you know, Mac Jones played his heart out.
That's how he
Agree with
played.
that?
He leaves it all out there, man. I mean, look, he's not always the most effective quarterback, but he gives you what he has. And as Fred Taylor talked about, Fred's enamored with Mac Jones right now. You know, just the spirit.
Yeah.
You know,
he makes it fun.
And I hope Freddie T makes it to Canton.
We all do, man.
Yeah,
we all do, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Doug,
sir.
glad you had a great day, man.
Thank you, sir. You guys have a good one. Go Jags.
Thank you, buddy. Go Jags, indeed.
Let's do it again next week.
I got no problem with. I have no problem with either side of it. You know, and I get how some people get upset on on both sides.
Sure.
Right? How can you not understand we're blowing our draft capital? How can you not understand? I just want to win football games, right? They're both valid to me.
Well, there's a way around it in both ways, right?
Win the Super Bowl. That's the way around it.
Please,
We
let's
won't
have
talk
that.
about draft
Please,
calls.
let's
at all.
Good idea.
Tired of talking about it.
You know, so yeah, that would be way around it.
But you can draft well.
Right? Absolutely.
You can draft well and make the most of the picks that you've got and get around it.
More Brian Thomas Jr. and less other guys.
Yeah, remember how many times did they move
that
back?
aren't as good as Brian Thomas
How
Jr.?
many times did they move back and
That's
get
all.
Brian Thomas Jr.?
They twice.
Yeah.
Right. Well, again, if you were to draft again today, right? Brian Thomas is going to the top 10 of this draft. He's going ahead of Odunze. He may go ahead of Marvin Harrison Jr. It may be close between he and Malik Neighbors. And I know I'm not making the case that Brian Thomas is not having a better year than Malik Neighbors. I still think that would be where the debate would lie. But the thing is, you know, those teams messed up.
Yeah.
Okay, but they had that chance before the Jags. If those teams did it the right way, and maybe Roma Odunze turns out to be a multi-time All-Pro, right?
We'll
but
find out.
If the Bears did it the right way, they would have taken Brian Thomas Jr., and you never would have had the opportunity to get him. Heck, when the Jags traded back a couple of times, all those teams have got to be looking at themselves like, we took Dallas Turner here? We did what exactly? You know, so
It does happen every year, though, that there are good players that slide down the board.
Every year.
Every year.
No question about
So
it.
you got to make the most of the opportunity when you get it. And I'll say it just like you just did. Don't begrudge anyone for wanting the best draft pick at all. I don't. I want to beat the Titans.
That's
no
fine.
matter what. I want to beat the Titans.
And I do think too that the younger generation of fans are more internet savvy. Obviously, right? They grew up in that.
Well,
era.
there's more information available to them.
right? But they are more plugged into it than a guy like me. Who I'm plugged into it because of the job we do. But if I were just a fan, I wouldn't be necessarily online looking at every permutation of everything. But I think the younger generation does. And those guys didn't live through the 99 season and the 90s to the degree, or maybe they were too young to really have that visceral feeling about it.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Different generations of Jaguar fans are going to feel differently about the Titans. I think the younger generation are Texan haters now.
But there are a lot of people in our generation, right? The over 50 crowd. You're over 50, aren't you? Yeah,
maybe.
Okay, right. who will appreciate the fact that before Doug Peterson got here, the Jaguars had won 2 of 13 games. They were 2-11 in the previous 13 games against the Titans, and have won 5 of the last 6. It's nice to beat the Titans.
It is nice to beat the Titans. It'd be great to beat the Texans too.
Yeah,
so let's do some of that.
That has been really bad.
Right? I mean,
for a
and
long
we've
time.
handled the Colts. Can we do some damage outside of the AFC
Yeah,
South?
start with There's more than those.
Can we beat the Browns for goodness sakes,
How
right?
about that?
And the Dolphins,
and plenty of others along the way.
For the record, I am the youngest in this room.
Okay,
just a reminder.
You just turned what?
Younger than him.
There you go.
So there you go.
You are the youngest in this room.
I am.
It's fine. It's not a problem. We won't hold your lack
It's
of
certainly not a
wisdom
problem.
against you.
Oh, it's certainly not a problem. There's no problems at all.
No.
355
We
NFL.
won't hold your age and inexperience against you.
A lot of gray
said
in
the
that
president.
beard,
Yeah,
Brian.
that's
I will
right.
tell you.
355 NFL 1, the number is 355-6351. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. One more segment to go. We'll get any last calls in the fifth quarter. We'll take over in just a few minutes after Jaguars' victory, 20-13 over the Titans. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
We are here for them, and we are here for you. Ranked #1 physical rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report, our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
It's game time, Jaguars fans, and Publix knows that football is all about pairings. A high-scoring offense paired with a stingy defense. A rocket-armed QB paired with a dynamic wide receiver. And at Publix, you can pair hot deli chicken tenders with savory dips, delicious sub-platters with ice-cold beverages, and you can pair these tailgate essentials with an entire parking lot full of Jaguars fans chanting, Duval! Gear up for your tailgate at Publix, the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
When disaster strikes, trust the experts at Surf Pro. As a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they bring the same dedication and precision to restoring your property as the Jaguars do on the field. Whether it's water, fire, or storm damage, their highly trained professionals are on call 24/7 to make it like it never even happened. Surf Pro, your local leader in restoration and cleanup.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. Open an EverBank Performance Savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. EverBank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show. Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Final moments of the Scoreboard Show. If you didn't get in here, the fifth quarter is coming up next. They'll take your calls. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Brian Sexton. Final thoughts after Jaguars win over the Tennessee Titans 20-13. Next week, the Jaguars head to Indianapolis, Lucas Oil Stadium, downtown Indy, to face the Colts, who had an inexplicable loss to the New York Giants today, and they are out of the playoff race. They are out altogether.
Drew Lock threw 4 touchdown passes.
Unbelievable. And then ran for another.
Ran for one.
Wow. 5 total.
What a day for them. Now, their fans, as we said, have a legitimate reason to be unhappy. But you know what? Colts fans, this has become part of their DNA. I mean, they did it in 2021 here. They came down just to beat a 3-13 team in the season finale, with an interim coach and a rookie quarterback. And they blew that. The Colts franchise has fallen off. Do we know which quarterback we're going to see next week? Is it going to be Flacco again?
Is
Anthony Richardson?
I don't know.
Don't know if it'll be. At this point, I would. Well, you'd want to get him the experience, because he hadn't had a lot of starts. But at the same time, I don't think they're going to rush him out there with nothing on the line, and send him and banged up even more into the offseason. There was a report that came out that basically said they're sticking with Anthony Richardson. He's the presumptive guy. They like the way he's handled his demotion and changed his study habits and things like that.
That's great.
I don't know if you need to hear that about your second-year quarterback.
No, I wouldn't want to hear that either.
Hey, stick with him. I can hurt our feelings.
He's there, yeah.
And by the way, I really think Will Levis has still a lot of untapped potential too, Tennessee, if you're listening. Stick with that guy. as well.
Wow. So the league announces the week 18 schedule usually at the end of everything or most everything in week 17. So we might know tomorrow the official time, but I would just almost guarantee
the
that
4-12 Jaguars in the
it's Sunday at 1:00 most likely.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Get this thing out of the way.
7-9.
Yeah, and out of the race. Yeah.
1:00.
Let's get this thing out of the way. The official word will come down probably tomorrow. Check out Jaguars.com for all the latest. Jags AM tomorrow?
Yeah, Jags AM. We might actually, move the set out of the way and stand in front of the big board, which we've only done this year in wins.
Wait a minute.
Listen, we got a great studio. We just haven't used it enough this year.
Why do you have to do it after a win?
Well, it's just kind of the way we've done it.
Haven't used it much.
Yeah. We're going to use it for the 4th time.
Wow.
I'm excited about that. It's a great board.
That's a lot of standing, though.
It's a lot.
It's like 30 minutes of standing.
Yeah, but, I may be old, but
was
I can
gonna
stand
say,
for 30 minutes, big
know.
boy. I can stand for 30 minutes.
You got Jaguars today, tomorrow.
We do. David Garrard's got the day off tomorrow. He's traveling. He'll be back next Monday, but it'll be a rare victory Monday.
So you'll be handing out T-shirts.
We will be handing out T-shirts tomorrow.
Sweet.
The one that you gave me went over so big in my house. So big in my house last time. So thank you for that again.
Well, you only got it because the Jags beat Tennessee last time.
Listen,
so
Tennessee was good to my 20-year-old.
Tennessee is good to the T-shirt wanting public.
And then Jaguars happy hour 4 to 6. Prisco and Baselli, plenty to discuss certainly with those two. That'll do it for the Scoreboard Show. Thanks to our entire crew, both here, the Miller Electric Center, and across the street at Everbank Stadium and at 1010XL.
Happy New Year,
Brian Sexton, Mike Dempsey. I'm JP Shadrick, and yes, Brian, Happy New Year.
Just wanted to get that in.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to all.
Happy New Year to everyone. And to all a good night. That's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.